Okay, I was thinking if to record this video because I think most of the time people already have plenty of opinions about topics like this, but I felt that it was important somehow to spot what I think here. So this was a very special case. And basically what I want to say is this. I have all the feeling that Ubuntu, as the purpose it was founded, has failed drastically, you know. It has been a big failure, and it's not going to recover from it. And I think that basically the Unity fiasco, what we have recently had, is not about Unity not being a good desktop environment, which people wouldn't be able to embrace. But on the other hand, I think that it shows people the lack of interest on it mostly shows that people doesn't trust Canonical as a company, and they doesn't trust Canonical because two things. The first, they are building the software from themselves instead of building the software for the whole free software community. And the other thing is the design of the software doesn't belong to the community. It only belongs to Canonical. So in this scenario, it's difficult for people. Even when your design is very good, it's difficult to people to feel engaged in the development of that kind of software. So I think that changing Unity for GNOME is a big step backwards, you know. And perhaps you will say, this is just fear, the typical fear you feel when changes happen, but it's not like that. I have thought calmly about it, and I think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be a very bad thing, because GNOME is not a reliable platform right now. You have to know that I have been trying software desktops environments for 9 years. I have tried all of them. I have tried 50 different Linux distributions, and I usually ask people what they find good about the operating and the operating systems of software they use, mostly because I spend a lot of energy on finding solutions that will fit a lot of people. So right now I have a very good idea of what people expect from their desktop environments, you know. And you have to know that when you are designing a desktop environment today, you are not competing with Windows or Macintosh, but you are competing with mobile phones. So if people find more useful and more easy to just switch on their mobiles than switching on their computers, your desktop environment isn't good enough. And this is the case of GNOME, because the case of GNOME, the case of KDE, the case of Mate, those have their own good things, but for example, GNOME is continuously changing. It's not a reliable platform for developers to make an application and just work long time. they have to continuously be firefighting changes, and that for a platform is a killer. And I think that has been the main reason why developers haven't been good on Linux, and that's the main thing to change. So changing to GNOME is a killer for that. It's a killer, and it's not a matter of personal taste. I don't see that desktop environment good enough for the average person. It's not reliable. On the other hand, we have KDE, which has the most amazing applications, and Qt, which works very well across different operating systems, including Windows and Mac. And on those, in this regard, I see Qt becoming a good platform for app development. And I thought that by having Unity 8, that will be a big leap for Ubuntu. But if you ditch Unity 8, you are left with the KDE Plasma desktop. And the KDE Plasma desktop is overwhelming for the average user. Perhaps for a tech-savvy people it's very useful, but for the average person, they will rather go to their tablets or their phones. And the Métis desktop environment, for example, I think it's a very good environment, but it's somehow very outdated. It's not keeping up with it's not like a standard, you know. Perhaps is the one that I will be using in the future, but it's not good enough for a market, you know. So basically I think that ditching Unity for GNOME has been a horrible decision, because the problem wasn't the goal itself, but it was the execution of it. You have, basically I usually say that you have to dream big. You have to go for what things you want it to be like if everything was possible. But the execution should be very small, very incremental, and making money from day one. You cannot simply try to do everything on your own and many things at the same time. You have to do small things, reach out the market as soon as possible, and every small thing that you do to be very well seized, you know. And this has been the opposite. It has taken a lot of years, and you want to deliver a product in a year or a year or a half, not more than that, and not be rewriting all the compith plugins, the display server and all that stuff, because it's very easy when you have a company with great development manpower to just say, hey, let's do everything because we can ask somebody to do it. No, that's not the way things usually evolve. Things as biology usually evolve in what's already there, always, and change through time. Okay, so basically what I wanted to say is the goal wasn't bad, but the execution was horrible, and was horrible because it copied the bad of Apple, which is doing things on their own, and that's not compatible with free software. So basically I want to warn you that if you are taking that step, you are entering a very dangerous zone, and you were not will not be fixing the root problem that caused this disappointment, you know. The root problem is how you execute and how you interact with other communities and your own community. That's the main problem. The problem wasn't making unity, you know. So I have the feeling that right now I will even be changing operating system after 9 years of using Ubuntu. If I don't see things changing, which I have seen that tendency for a long time, I will be changing operating system, probably, because I don't have any hope left on the leadership of this project, you know. And I'm saying that in the hope that you react, because I have been saying things like that for a long time and people seem too distracted to realize what I meant. And I meant that this is free software is made by all together, all people together. It's good having someone that directs the project, but in the end of the day it is all shown the view of the community, not of a particular company for a particular project, you know. So that's it. Hope things go turn around, because if they aren't, we won't be having Linux as a standard desktop operating system. I say you that the initial goal of Ubuntu will be missing, at least on my opinion. And I think my opinion is very, very well formed, and I have thought very thoroughly about it and spoke to people. So have a nice day.